is anything that smells critical. Just a whiff, not even being critical, just could sort of be toned a little bit that way, is taken very personally. It's taken as a reflection of a comment on my inability, my deficiency, my falling short. There's a lot of that floating around out there. People who cannot digest anything that sounds like a comment on the way they're doing things. And it surprises you because much of the time we're not aware of that. We don't read them that way. And it's only over a bit of history, over time, that you come to understand, this person has the proclivity to interpret whatever I might say as a comment on something wrong with them. So it makes it tough. Got to get better at reading it. I'm Dr. Ray. Thank you so much for joining me. Andrew Kruchek for all the editing you do there at AVE, EWTN, Global Catholic Radio Network, YouTube. I'm Dr. Ray. Walk with God. He wants to hear what you have to say.
For information on Dr. Ray's presentations, books, and CDs, visit drray.com and follow him on Facebook. The Doctor is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
Spreading the splendor of truth. This is the Guadalupe Radio Network. Radio for your soul.
Thank you for listening to the Guadalupe Radio Network and being part of the family. Families pray for each other. We would be honored if you would let us pray with you and for you. You don't even have to tell us your name. Just go to our website, grnonline.com, or call our prayer request line and leave us a message at 800-395-4008. That's 800-395-4008. We will be praying for you.
The Catholic Marketing Network, CMN, invites you to their 2022 Christmas event on December 16th through the 18th at the Hilton Anatole in Dallas. This family Christmas event features inspirational talks from Father Mike Schmitz, Chris Stefanik, family activities, including Christmas pageant, live music, fun games and activities, pictures and story time with St. Nicholas, gift shopping, and more. For information and tickets, cmnchristmas.com. That's cmnchristmas.com.
Hi, this is Dave Palmer, welcoming our new sponsor, Homeschool Connections, an online curriculum provider where students meet with instructors online with other students for live interactive classes. Instructors include Tim Staples for apologetics, John Martinoni for scripture, Joseph Pierce for literature, and I teach a class called An Introduction to the Summa Theologica. Your high school student can learn Christian philosophy according to the angelic doctor, St. Thomas Aquinas. Homeschoolconnections.com. Online Catholic learning for your homeschooling family is available for you.
It was 30 years of pain, hiding what I did.
It destroyed my life, little by little.
I have hidden my true emotions since that day, the day I had the abortion.
I was convinced, without a doubt, that God would not forgive me.
Are you suffering with the burden of a past abortion? Come on a Rachel's Vineyard retreat and release your burden. Call 214-544-CARE.
Attending the retreat allowed me to finally open up and share with others who have been down the same road.
I am renewed. I have a sense of freedom, and I can finally feel God's grace.
God healed each wound. I didn't have to do the work. All I had to do was come.
I give thanks to God that He called me to the vineyard.
Give yourself a chance to feel alive again. Call 214-544-CARE or visit racheldallas.org.
Welcome to Back to the Father, a show about the journey of life focused on our final end, which is God Himself, our loving Father. And now, here's your host, Dave Palmer.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Back to the Father here on the Guadalupe Radio Network social media sites. I'm Dave Palmer, as Stan just mentioned. And this is a show where we talk about a particular topic related to St. Thomas Aquinas' Summa Theologica, which was written in the 13th century by St. Thomas Aquinas, the doctor of the doctors of the Catholic Church, the angelic doctor, the common doctor. He's got a lot of great names, but he's I'd say arguably the best philosopher that has ever lived, certainly in the Catholic Church. I have with me in studio our esteemed panelists. I don't think I ever described you guys as panelists.
I don't think you should continue to do that.
Okay, that'll be the one and only time. This is Sissel Anderson in the green. And whoa, and look at this. William Kirkendall also in green. Did I miss an email or something?
Yes, we planned this just to uproot you.
Yeah, well, Diane didn't get it either because Diane's in purple and I am in black, if anybody cares. But good to see you guys. How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Is that actually black or is that navy?
Yeah, I kind of think it's a little bit more bluish
You
navy.
think so?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's...
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. We're all entitled to our own opinion, aren't we? And glad for all of you who are out there, we've got somewhat of a loyal audience of some people that come back every week. And if you are among the loyal faithful, we welcome you. And if you're here for the first time, let us know where you are watching. If you're on, obviously we'll know if you're on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, but glad to have you with us. We love your participation. So as we talk about the topic today, and if you feel so inspired to, ask a question or make a comment, Sissel has an eagle eye on the comments, and she will be reading them out. And then at the end of the program, we have some fun trivia, and I'm really excited about this. Did you come equipped, William? Trivia?
I came with one question. Yeah.
One equipped. Okay, well, that's equipped.
Hey,
Sissel?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
All right. And so you can play along with the trivia as well. The other side of the glass is Diane Xavier. She is keeping us on and also answering calls. If anybody wants to call in and speak with us vocally, we would love to talk with you. It doesn't happen often, but if you want to call in, we're very open to that. 877-757-9424, 877-757-9424. There was a time when the topics of this program were somewhat randomly chosen, or maybe William would make a comment at the end of the show, and that became the topic for the next week. This and the previous 2 weeks are very deliberate,
yes.
Because as we're leading up to Halloween, All Saints Day, All Souls Day, and as I mentioned a few weeks ago, just the absolute nuttiness that everybody has for Halloween and pretty much ignoring All Saints and All Souls Day. I thought we'd do one show 2 weeks ago on ghosts, right, or separated souls, according to St. Thomas Aquinas. And then last week we did Intercession of the Saints for All Saints Day. And I thought, well, why not do one for All Souls? Because we had All Souls Day back on Tuesday of this week. So we are going to talk about Purgatory. And St. Thomas, what did St. Thomas say about Purgatory in the Summa Theologica?
Oh, and also I'm pretty sure that All Souls Day was on Wednesday.
You sure?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Okay. So, Halloween was...
Halloween and then All Saints.
Okay,
and then...
so you don't think I'm right about the color of my shirt, and you don't think I'm right about the calendar.
We're just slowly forming a mutiny, Dave.
Did I say anything right today at all? Okay, I'm kidding. All right.
Yeah, we're in this together. We're just slowly trying to uproot.
A humble man accepts criticism and correction. So thank you, William. I appreciate that. No, yeah, you're right. It was weird this week because...
Well, it was confusing because you have Sunday, and then on Halloween, you could go to Mass for All Saints in the evening, and then All Saints happen, and then All Souls happen. And I feel like last year, my stepmom and I were talking about this last year, pretty certain that All Saints, at least in our area, became the Sunday, like it was combined with the Sunday obligation because it was on a Sunday. And so I think that confused everyone too, because they're like, wait. I have to go, wait, I'm confused.
Yeah, and then we had All Saints Day off on Tuesday.
Yes, we did.
And so when we came back on Wednesday, it seemed like Monday, and it was just. I think we just need a good weekend of rest. And
and we're getting an extra hour.
What are we getting? What are we getting? Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I had to sit there and go, fall back, spring forward. Which one do we get an extra? That was quite literally the cogs in my brain starting.
Yeah, right.
On camera.
Yeah, we get an extra hour because fall is good, spring bad in that regard. Because in spring we lose an hour, and the fall we gain an hour. So, have you ever, now that you mention it, have you ever stayed up until 2:00 and watched your? I think it's it goes 1:50. Wait, how's it go? Yeah, 1:57, 1:58, 1:59, and then at 2:00. It becomes 1:00, or how does that work? You
clearly we've not stayed up to find out, or find out it wasn't intentional.
But it happens at 2 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
why did I think it would happen at midnight?
No, because
I don't know why.
Because if you're watching, I challenge people to do that if you want to.
You challenge people to not get rest this weekend.
Yeah, to not get rest. But it's something like I don't know if it's at 3:00, it becomes 2:00 or something like that. But you got to stay up pretty late to do that. Mm-hmm. Pretty interesting. Okay, so anybody out there ever done that? Let us know.
Yeah,
okay, so all right. So what's interesting about purgatory? I've got on the slide here. I've got the first image is kind of a creepy image of hell. I mean, you got to admit, you look at this. This is pretty creepy, and I think most of us, and correct me if I'm wrong, kind of have an image of what hell might look like. I mean, you have an image in your mind of flames or something like this, and I don't know. What do you all think of when you think of hell, and what would it be like? Hopefully, when with God's grace, we'll never be there, right?
Right. I remember you asked a similar question to this months ago, like September, August, something like that, and I asked you if you guys had ever seen the Twilight Zone video or the Twilight Zone episode, "Nice Place to Visit," and it's basically again about the guy who goes to hell, but it's not like flames and fire and all that stuff. It's more of he has a nice mansion, a nice it all looks good, but he's never actually happy. And then you commented and said it's kind of hell might more be like, rather than flames and fire, maybe more like what people in sin created on earth for themselves, and so they're kind of living in that kind of in that symbolic room for the rest of their lives.
So it would be very similar to, because I think people who fall into mortal sin on earth are unhappy.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you just keep on being unhappy the rest of your life, or is it more intense, or
Yeah, it's a good point. I feel like that image in particular was very much like fire. You're in a volcano or something like that. I've always pictured a lot of darkness, I feel like, and more, not so much like giant open flames, but like smoldering, really hot flames, but aren't really shown. Just kind of, just darkness, just separation from God. Yeah, and I think it's interesting, the idea about the, it not being maybe what you think, but worse than you think,
Yeah, right. Yeah. It could be. And I don't think people think about it enough, because this pretty brief life. And, as you've ever heard of Pascal's wager, basically Pascal's wager was in trying to decide if there's a God or not. You go ahead and just, if you're not sure, gamble that there is, because you can still live a good life. A moral life is a good life, and then you can go to heaven, and then you gambled right. Whereas if you say, I don't think there is, and you live a bad life, then you go to hell and you spend the rest of your existence in hell. And he said even if you just want to be to wage, go ahead and wage that there is a God and live a good life, because it's a Christian moral virtuous life is a good life.
Yeah, and people in this society don't really think about that. Like they don't understand what we as Christians and Catholics understand, that this is not where we're going to be for the rest of our lives. Like, earth is just it's just a passing life. Like, we are going to end up somewhere for eternity. This is just a very, even if you live 100 years, it's going to be nothing compared to up there.
Our friend Buddy on Facebook asked, did Our Lady of Fatima show what hell was to the children? Didn't she do something?
She did, yeah. And I was just thinking about that. Buddy and I are on the same plane, because the children, I think, described hell from how they had a vision of hell. There's so much with the Fatima apparitions, In fact, I sometimes have argued that maybe it was too much. There's just so much that people get confused, and the prophecy in Russia and the there's a lot going on there, the dancing sun, and so. But anyways, that was part of it. I'd love to know I don't know if somebody out there wants to look that up and describe how Our Lady of Fatima. What the vision was that the shepherd children saw for Fatima.
I wonder if there's like a book out there on that, because that'd be interesting to read about like what the
I'm curious how much the kids brought back and like described, because I almost feel like it's one of those things where it could almost be indescribable, because it's kind of like St. Thomas when he saw visions of heaven, he couldn't even like, well, how was he supposed to describe? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
how much were they able to actually describe? Because like you have St. Faustina with the Divine Mercy image. Whenever she tried to describe what Jesus looked like to the artist, she was always so disappointed because it never looked the way that
Right. It's like if somebody did a movie about someone you loved, like one of your parents or your best friend or something like that, it's never going to be good enough, because they'll never be able to completely replicate what that person is. All right. So, when it comes to purgatory, the next slide, I have the next image here. I have just a picture of like a tunnel. I think people are even more confused about purgatory because
you're talking about heaven and hell, and then you're like, oh yeah, and purgatory.
Yeah, we're gonna add one more in
and
there.
there's a
right.
third place.
Yeah,
There's a third place, but you don't stay there forever. But
Right.
it's gonna have like hell aspects, but also not.
Right.
Right.
So confusing.
So I guess it's interesting and appropriate to find out what St. Thomas Aquinas says about purgatory, especially in light of, really, that's the purpose for All Souls Day, is to pray for the poor souls in purgatory, because the people in heaven don't need our prayers. They don't need them. They don't want them. And the people in hell, it doesn't do any good. So really the only souls that do any good to pray for on All Souls Day would be those in purgatory. Now, the mystery is we don't know if our loved...
there.
we don't know who's there.
So
who
just
isn't
pray.
there.
And that's the beauty of God being outside of our time, is that he can apply those prayers.
Yeah.
You could be praying now, and who knows, maybe your grandma is in heaven.
Yeah.
But hey, God
And
can
what
still
if you
apply
do a
those prayers.
plenary indulgence,
Right.
you apply it to a loved one, but then you also have that like no attachment to venial sin part of the indulgences, and you're like, well, did it take? Did it do anything? Did I help them?
Yeah.
But remember, the whole month of November is dedicated to remembering those who have died, so you can pray the whole month. Oh, we should pray all the time,
All
but
the time.
but I'm saying special intentions this month.
Yes.
All right, so here's the rather perplexing thing about St. Thomas Aquinas' treatment of purgatory in the Summa. As I've said many times, the Summa has about 630 questions, okay? So a lot of questions, and they're all divided up into articles. Typical question might have 3-4 articles, right? Approximately 3,100 articles in the Summa, okay? So about 3,100, a lot of them, over 3,000. I think it's 7 articles about purgatory are the very, very last articles of the entire Summa. And the Summa has basically 4 parts. There's prima pars, and then there's prima secunda, secunda secundae, and tertia pars. Those are the 4 parts. And then after Thomas stopped writing, which we talked about on a previous program, you have the supplement, right? And that's when his scribe Rinaldo finished the Summa based on Thomas's previous writings. So you got the supplement, which is kind of like the 5th segment of the Summa. And then after the supplement, you have these 2 appendices, okay, Appendix 1 and Appendix 2. And I, for the life of me, after doing pretty much research, have not found anybody explain why and when these were added. Okay, so why?
So you didn't find anything on it
I
at
didn't.
all?
No. I'm
What?
sorry. I
I'm
feel
so
like I let you down.
disappointed.
I know. Did you find anything?
No, I didn't look. That's why I didn't find anything.
Okay.
Well, I'm surprised that there's nothing that no one has ever. Surely someone's asked this question before, though, because it's so interesting.
Yeah, I did a search, and I'm sure if I searched a little bit more, maybe I could find it. But it seems very interesting because an appendix, am I correct that means that it was added on, right? Kind of like an amendment.
Yeah.
Like the amendments
So
of
is
our
that the official definition of an appendix?
I don't know. What is an appendix? Is something like extra, right?
Yeah.
It's what?
I googled appendix to try to
You got
get
probably a picture of an appendix, right? Yeah. Why do they call the body part an appendix? Because it's like I don't know.
It's an extra thing that you don't actually need. No, I'm joking.
Okay, Adrian said I'm late. What did I miss?
And I wrote that you fell out of your chair.
Yeah, I didn't know such thing. So why? Okay, well, then this is Adrian and I were having a conversation on text the other day, and I said the appendix must have been added afterwards. Okay, because I think the very definition of an appendix is that it's added on after the fact. So was it added on a month later? Was it a year later? I even speculated, could they have added it on after the around the time of the Protestant Reformation, which would have been hundreds of years after Thomas Aquinas. Can you even do that? I mean, I guess you can do whatever you want. It's not like inspired sacred scripture. I mean, yes, yes.
According to this very reliable source called diggipod.com.
Yeah, sounds reliable, yes.
An appendix page is a section located at the back of the book that includes any additional or supplementary information on the book's topic, such as other books on the subject, references, and citations.
Okay, so it's extra.
It's extra. But it has, but it's helping to support what's in the book already.
Yeah, okay. So that would imply that maybe there was already something about purgatory previous in the Summa. The Summa is so big, and somebody else can tell me whether or not it was addressed elsewhere.
And Adrian also wrote a collection of supplementary material, usually at the end of the book.
Yeah, so somebody's got to know that. When was it added on? Because I don't know the answer to that question. And why wasn't it in the normal Summa? And especially for such a controversial topic that a lot of people don't even believe exists, purgatory. And Thomas does admit, and we'll see some of this, that we don't know a lot about purgatory, like what it's like. But I'll tell you what, when you finish hearing what St. Thomas Aquinas says about purgatory, you are going to come to one conclusion, and that is that you do not want to go there. Okay, I'm going to tell you that. It's not a day at the park. And it's not a day at the country club, okay, either. So let's, you want to get into it? Yeah. Okay. Everything else okay over there, Sissel? It seemed to be struggling.
I was trying to tighten.
Trying to steal a microphone or what?
I was trying to tighten the microphone, and I did it the wrong way. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, and I did it backwards. You want us to
go ahead and carry on?
Carry on, please. Okay. I'll handle this.
All right. She's got it under control. So, all right. Now, here's the other interesting thing. Okay. So, if there's two appendices, and I'll just talk to William now, since Sissel has her mind elsewhere. If there's two appendices, which one of them do you think should ask the question whether there is a purgatory after this life? The first or the second? Should that be like right off the bat, or should it be like later on?
I don't know. Does it really matter whether it's Appendix 1 or 2 or however many there are?
There's like a first and a second, so you're wondering. Yeah.
It seems like to me that ought to be the lead-off question. Like, does purgatory even exist? And then you start talking about, well, are the pains? Because he's going to say, are the pains in purgatory worse than the suffering in this life? And then he's going to ask about, what does it remit? Venial sin, or that kind of stuff.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Can you remind me which is in the Summa are the discussions and questions about and articles about heaven and hell near each other in the same section, or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So it seems so weird that it's not. It wouldn't have been in there
in that same section.
You're like, just.
Yeah. Yes.
Just insert it.
Put it right in there. No. You've got the four last things that traditionally have been death. Judgment, heaven, and hell, right? Which is interesting because the four last things don't include purgatory. The traditional four last things, death, judgment, heaven, and hell, because I guess purgatory is not a final place. It's more of a transitional place. Yeah. But I don't know. This is going to bug me for a long time.
If we could just finally get St. Thomas on this show, we could get those questions
ratings
answered.
Bonanza.
I know. Well, I wonder if there's someone who's studied St. Thomas's life.
And they happen to be watching this show?
Yeah.
By the name of Adrian?
Yeah. He doesn't seem to know either, really.
No.
I'm just wondering, it's just so interesting, because that's such a prominent book in our faith that no one seems to know why was this added, when was it added.
Yeah. So, all right,
Anyhow.
let's see if we can make sense of this. Okay. So I'm doing these out of order because it's actually in Appendix 2 where St. Thomas Aquinas says whether there's a purgatory after this life. So I'm kind of doing a little switcheroo because I think this should be the introductory one, because if there isn't a purgatory,
why would we be discussing it anyway?
What does it matter
Exactly.
in the first place?
Got to
Okay?
establish that there is one.
So he says, from the conclusions we have drawn above, it is sufficiently clear that there is a purgatory after this life. For if the debt of punishment is not paid in full after the stain of sin has been washed away by contrition, nor are venial sins always removed when mortal sins are remitted. Okay, that's an interesting point. If you go into confession and you confess mortal sins, does it wash away your venial sins? Thomas seems to be very concerned about this. Okay, let's say you did something really bad. Okay, a mortal sin. And then you got some other venial sins and attachments, right? And you confess the mortal sin.
Mm-hmm.
Some people would say, well, then your venial sins kind of get, washed away with them.
Well, that wouldn't. Wait, are you saying he says that's not the case?
He says it's not the case.
I would agree, because I don't think that counts, because you have to confess all the sins for them to be. I mean, now if you're in Mass, we don't. So our venial sins also, if we can, during the.
But aren't venial sins washed away with holy water?
There's a lot of things.
There's a lot of things that could wash it. Now, but I'm saying if we're talking about if you've had a lot of venial sin, you have a mortal sin, you go in and you only confess the mortal sin and you don't do any of these other things that could wash away your venial sin, then I'd say that venial sin is still there.
Yeah. And also I think venial sins are unavoidable. Because we have concupiscence, because we are wounded, because we have this, the original sin, it's impossible. It's possible to live a life, I think, without mortally sinning. It's hard, but it's possible to do that. But it's impossible to live a life without venially sinning.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think if you confess all your venial sins in the confessional, you might be there a while.
Everyone in line would not appreciate you. Let's put it that way.
Does anybody out there know our venial sins washed away through Holy Communion, and then secondly the holy water? Because I've heard that is the case.
I think both.
I've not heard the holy
water.
water one before, but
Sign of the Cross with holy water does wash away venial sin, I'm pretty sure. And definitely communion as well.
And just as a side note, if holy water washes away venial sin, my 9-year-old special needs son is washed clean of venial sin.
Does he really love that holy water?
He goes in and he just...
He probably has washed a few other people too in the process.
He splashes it all over the place. I mean, a lot of people are being cleansed of venial sin because of him, because there's people in the narthex that are getting it because he puts his hand in there and it splashes everywhere. So
that's hysterical. So Adrian says yes to all of the above. So holy water and holy water and communion.
Yes. So by the time you walk into Mass, you do holy water. And then, an hour later, you're receiving Holy Communion. And it's possible you could have sinned venially just in that time period, right?
Yeah, you could be like, they sat in my pew. Those people.
Sounds like a personal story. That came too easily, Sissel. That one came pretty easy.
That was not my story. It was a friend's story.
I'm asking for a friend, right?
Yes.
Okay, it follows that one who, after contrition for his fault and after being absolved, dies before making due satisfaction is punished after this life. Wherefore, those who deny purgatory speak against the justice of God. For which reason, such a statement is erroneous and contrary to the faith. Hence, Gregory of Nyssa, Thomas is constantly quoting the fathers, after the words quoted above, adds, this we preach, holding to the teachings of truth, and this is our belief. This is the universal church that holds by... Oh, my goodness. Okay, I just lost it. Okay, no, there it is. Hold by praying for the dead that they may be loosed from sins. This cannot be understood except as referring to purgatory, and whosoever resists the authority of the church incurs the note of heresy. Don't you love that? Whoever resists the authority of the church incurs the note of heresy. Nobody talks like that anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
That'd be fun to maybe around the Thanksgiving table.
Just be like,
hey, by the way,
did you know?
Yeah.
Those who
you got like mixed company, and
you just say that, and everyone's like, say what now?
And can you pass the cranberry sauce?
Yes. Adrian says he does. Well, why are we not surprised? By the way, he says that the question of confessing venial sins is a great topic, and then also you should only confess venial sins that you have a firm purpose of amendment to avoid and take steps to stop.
And there's going to be a question here in a moment we're going to go over as far as are some people going to be in purgatory longer than others. It's one of those things. Like, gosh, I'm pretty certain if I died right now, and we are, I think, under a tornado warning.
So it's very possible.
That's a very high likelihood.
If we all run out of the room, you know why.
I don't know how many venial sins I would have on my soul. I mean,
Yeah, I've been trying to get confession this last week and a half, so I probably should,
Yeah.
I usually go once a month, and I'm a little over that now. So
it's one of those things. It's like if somebody said, "Give me a list of mortal sins."
That's one thing.
Yeah,
that's a little easier to quantify.
Easier, but then there's some that are, a little murky, like
mortal sins. You mean?
Or
yeah.
no.
Okay. Yeah, like I mean, again, if you cheat on your taxes or something, I mean,
right,
is that a mortal sin or a venial sin? I mean, there's not a list. The church doesn't say here's a list of
Manny
all
wants to make sure we know it's a tornado watch, not a warning.
Oh, okay.
But it could change to a warning at any time.
Tornado warning made for a better story, Manny. I mean, come on.
We have been talking all day how much our viewership would go up if we got caught in a tornado mid-show.
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. I mean, come on, Manny. I like how Manny, instead of like commenting, while he's watching, he actually walks into the studio.
He's he can't give away that he's one of our viewers.
Okay, tornado watch is issued for North Texas. Okay, yeah, we're under a tornado watch. So this whole thing about death and all that, this is very real for us at this moment. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, whether it is the same place where souls are cleansed and the damned punished. Have you ever heard this?
Oh, like
is hell the same place as purgatory?
So are we saying, is there like a little subsection of hell where like purgatory resides, where you're like, you could have been here, but don't worry, you're just going to be here for a bit.
Wouldn't that be horrible? I mean, God forbid you're in purgatory and you see one of your loved ones in hell.
Oof.
There's like, there's like that dividing
That
wall.
would be hell. I don't think that would be purgatory.
That might be part of purgatory, is to see loved ones, because
it's possible.
Because in heaven there's no pain, there's no sadness, so you would not even be sad about your loved ones being in hell.
That's the funny thing. It's like since there's no sadness in hell, even if you could see your loved ones in hell, you can't really be sad about that in heaven.
Yeah,
like, it's just not possible.
Well, it's the best comparison I can think of is that there have been times when I have disciplined my kids, and I love my kids, and they are in the corner in timeout, and they're screaming, and they're clearly unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm fine with that, because even though I love them and they're terribly unhappy, I know it's just. You know what I mean?
It's also like you love them, and that's why you're doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I know they're going to get out of the corner eventually.
Right.
True.
Right. Yeah. But a lot of parents get so uncomfortable with like punishing kids. So, you're like, no. You love them. You want this for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Thomas says, nothing is clearly stated in Scripture about the situation of purgatory, nor is it possible to offer convincing arguments on this question.
Oh.
So he's basically, okay.
Hang on a second, St. Thomas. No, hang on just a second.
But then he says, but I'm going to go ahead and go on.
But I'll do it anyway.
Yeah, go on. It is probable, however, and more in keeping with the statements of holy men and the revelation made to many, that there is a twofold place of purgatory. I tried to explain this on CDT this morning, and I think I don't think I did very well.
Wait,
I wish Catholic drive time would be at like noon and not
when your brain's actually awake.
Not
you mean?
7 in the morning, because I'm drinking coffee and they're asking me questions.
I think CDT would also probably be okay with that.
But noon isn't drive time, so that
it's not.
Okay.
It's lunchtime.
Lunchtime.
And Adrian says same. So I told you.
Yeah. Okay.
I say we start a petition.
have you ever heard that there's a twofold place in purgatory? Okay,
no, I have not.
See if this makes sense to you, because I don't know.
It probably will not, but I'll try.
This is what I was trying to explain this morning on CDT with one cup of coffee in my brain. Okay, he says, one according to the common law, whatever that means. And thus the place of purgatory is situated below and in proximity to hell, so that it is the same fire which torments the damned in hell and cleanses the just in purgatory. Okay, so he's put his cards on the table here and saying it's the same flames. Although the damned, being lower in merit, are to be considered to a lower place.
But purgatory is below it.
No, hell's lower.
Oh, hell's lower. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I misinterpreted when he said something.
The damned, being lower in merit, are to be consigned to a lower place. The damned. Okay, so the damned are the ones in hell. Another place. Okay, so that's place number one. Okay, so categorize that in your head. So you got people in hell, and then in the same place, in the same flames, you got the people in purgatory. Okay. Another place of purgatory is according to dispensation. And thus, sometimes, as we read, some are punished in various places, either that the living may learn or that the dead may be succored, which means helped, seeing that their punishment being made known to the living may be mitigated through the prayers of the church.
Yeah, I lost it at the end.
Yeah, same.
So I think it seems to me like he's saying in this other place, there's some, are these the ones that are being assisted by the living through their prayers? Is there some, but why aren't the other ones that are in the hellfire? I got to admit,
so is he kind of almost saying that there are some people in one of the twofold parts of purgatory that can't be assisted by prayers?
It seems to say that. I mean,
so some people really are barely making the cut for heaven, and so much so that they're going to be there for a long time, and our prayers can't even help them.
But purgatory, by its very definition, means you're going to get to heaven eventually.
Right.
So are they like?
So are there levels of purgatory?
That's what it seems to imply. I mean,
St. Thomas really loves the levels.
Yeah, he does.
Honestly,
he really does love the levels.
What do y'all think? Are there any comments? Anybody out there dare to speculate? Victor says, I'm on the way to the store.
See, he showed up. He said he almost missed it. I'm going to ask him if it's the you mean the grocery store?
Deep thoughts with Victor.
The liquor store? The
All right,
taco
so
store?
I don't know. Wayne, what do you think?
Yeah, this is all new stuff to me. I didn't think of it as levels, but I guess like Cecil said, it seems to imply that there might be like in heaven and hell.
Which part
like
of the
angels.
appendix are we reading from? Adrian's asking, by the way.
This is the appendix 2. So I reversed them. So I'm reading from appendix 2 right now. In fact, this is the very, very last article of the Summa that I'm reading from right now. And then I'm going to go to appendix 1 here in a moment if time allows. All right, let me move on, because he definitely says there's a twofold place in purgatory. Okay, clearly there's two different places. Okay, some say, however, that according to the common law, the place of purgatory is where man sins. This does not seem probable, since a man may be punished at the same time for sins committed in various places. And others say that according to the common law, they are punished above us because they are between us and God as regards their state, but this is of no account, for they are not punished for being above us, but for that which is lowest in them, namely sin. I don't get that one.
Okay. I was about to say, can you please interpret and explain?
I know.
Well, that's unfortunate.
The place where they sin. Okay, let's just say Thomas admits at the beginning he doesn't know. Okay, then he starts speculating, and he's saying there are a couple of different places. One of them seems to be very, very close in proximity to hell. One of them seems to have some kind of relationship with the living. Mm-hmm. Beyond that,
but they all are still going to get to heaven.
Everybody in purgatory is going to get to heaven. Yes,
you just might be in the worst purgatory.
Yeah, or maybe they move from purgatory.
So you're like, oh, you've upgraded to level 2 purgatory. Yeah. I'm trying to okay, you graduated. Yeah. Congratulations.
You've been burning in the flames of hell for 500 years.
Burn in slightly less hot flames.
Now you're going to be in the place where I don't know. I mean,
that's so interesting.
Yeah, that is. So basically, it's.
Does any other church father or church doctor talk about this?
Like St. Augustine.
Well, yeah,
right?
but he's quoting a lot of church doctors. I mean, Thomas is quoting church doctors in this.
Well, St. Thomas, then make it make more sense.
Okay.
Explain yourself.
Let's see.
Adrian says, think Mount Purgatorio from Dante.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So let me move on because.
By the way, Victor's going to Kohl's.
Okay.
Just in case you wanted to know.
I did want to know. Okay, so whether the pains of purgatory surpass all the temporal pains of this life. So think of the most painful you've ever experienced in this life, either physically or emotionally. I don't remember the greatest pain.
Physically or emotionally or both?
Those Charlie horses are pretty bad.
Oh, those are bad. They run in my family.
You ever get those Charlie horses?
You get them in the middle of the night in your leg.
Oh, man.
And you just, all you want to do is sit and scream on your bed, holding your leg, and you know you have to get up and walk. Is the worst thing.
And I sometimes think, like, what if this never went away?
What if you're just seizing in pain forever?
Because it's like Do you know you've had those?
I've had
They have
once
in
or
my
twice.
calf. Yeah, and something
they're
happens.
They're bad there.
And it's just like and,
Yes,
it's
terrible.
Oh,
yeah,
that's really bad.
It's like I think that's the most intense pain I've ever experienced, and thanks be to God, they only last like a couple of minutes, But anyways, imagine. Okay, so in light of that,
I'm sure there are much more painful injuries you can get. We just have apparently not been injured very badly.
Okay, so has anybody out there experienced the Charlie horse? Okay, I think if you have, you know what I'm talking about. They are bad.
They are no bueno.
I don't even want to think about it anymore, so I'm going to move on. So
I get cramps in my toes all the time. It's very uncomfortable.
Oh, like when you stub your toe?
No, I stub my toe too, but I get cramps in my toes. Don't ask me why, but it looks like my toe's been broken.
Yeah,
it's bad.
And well, okay, I won't get into it, but there's a pain also that only men can experience that, like on the schoolyard, and I'll just leave it at that. I think all the men I think know what I'm talking about.
Everyone figured that out.
And that's pretty intense. Okay, so keep that in mind. William's like, yeah.
Forrest says in his quads are the worst.
And Charlie horses.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Adrian has put some quotes here. Let me read this real quickly.
Yeah.
In purgatory, there will be a twofold pain. Okay. Again, he likes these twofolds. One will be the loss of pain, the pain of loss, namely the delay of the divine vision, and the pain of sense, namely punishment of corporeal fire. With regard to both, the least pain of purgatory surpasses the greatest pain of this life. All right. So let that sink in. For the more a thing is desired, the more painful is its absence. And since after this life, the holy souls desire the sovereign good with the most intense longing, both because their longing is not held back by the weight of the body, and because, had there been no obstacle, they would already have gained the goal of enjoying the sovereign good, it follows that they grieve exceedingly for their delay. Okay, so that makes sense. You're like, oh, I'm going to be in heaven. I'm not there. And that's painful. Okay. Again, since pain is not hurt, but the sense of hurt, the more sensitive a thing is, the greater the pain caused by that which hurts it. Wherefore, hurt inflicted on the more sensible parts cause the greatest pain. I don't understand this because, like, souls in purgatory right now don't have their bodies. So how do you feel sensible pain if you don't have a body?
So is it more like, I don't know. I'm going to stop speaking because I don't think I have any. I was going to say, is it more like mental pain?
The confidence is riding
Yeah,
high
I was
with
like mental
Sissel
pain,
right
but then
now.
we were just talking about, no.
No, you're not going to
I'm gonna leave that one until I get there, or
right.
hopefully don't get there.
Any thoughts, William, or anybody out there?
Adrian sent some quotes, so I can try to read them. They're spread across several comments, and other comments are between, so I'll do my best here. This is from Kevin Vost. Voist?
Kevin Vost?
Vost. That's what he says.
Kevin Vost is watching?
No.
Wait. Oh. I was like, man.
And that was at the time that y'all thought Father Mike Schmitz was watching too.
Yeah.
Sammy got way too excited. No.
Okay.
No.
Kevin's a Thomist.
It's a quote from him.
Oh, okay.
That Adrian posted. One place is according to the common law. This place is below us and near hell, so the same fire torments both the souls being cleansed and the souls that are damned in hell, though the damned being of lower merit are consigned to the lowest place. Thomas makes the important distinction that while the fires of hell serve to afflict the damned, the fires of purgatory, while painful, serve primarily to cleanse souls from sin. The second place of purgatory is according to a special dispensation, whereby, as we read, souls are sometimes punished in various places so that the living may learn from them, or those souls themselves may be comforted, seeing that their punishment being made known to the living may be mitigated through the prayers of the church.
Isn't that a direct quote from the Summa? I thought that's what I just read.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I know. I think...
My bad. If you read it, I clearly wasn't listening.
No, I think that's exactly what I just read. So
no, he has quotes from the Summa, but he's also adding commentary to it.
Okay. Yeah, because when you said
I just wasn't indicating every time I was quoting.
Yeah. So does that make sense to you what you just read, or are you?
It makes more sense when I read it. That came out wrong.
That's a tough crowd today. Wow, that's a tough
That came
crowd.
out wrong. That came out so wrong. What I meant was that, like, sometimes when you read it yourself over, never mind.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna stop now.
I'm just gonna. Okay.
I'm just gonna stop.
You're just gonna let that one go. Okay, well let's move on. I think but what about that question of how can souls in purgatory right now, without bodies, suffer sensibly? Come on, Kevin Vost, what do you say about that, buddy?
Dave's feeling a little sensitive over
You're just going to quote the Summa here again, or what?
By the way, Forrest said it sounded better from me, so yeah, it technically sounded better from Kevin, but it's okay. So, sorry, repeat your question again.
Okay,
whether bodies suffer there.
Yeah.
How do they suffer if they don't have bodies, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, if you get hit with a baseball in the head, you can only suffer pain if you have a body. Okay?
Right.
So, like, an angel never gets hit in the head with a baseball.
Right.
And I would think a separated soul or a ghost, and by the way, Monsignor Charles Pope did a article on I saw on New Advent about believing in ghosts. Or was it, Father Dwight Longenecker, or one of the two?
One of those guys.
Some priest did, okay, which is what we talked about a couple weeks ago. Okay, so let's move on, because it's already 40 after. Okay, interestingly, are the souls in purgatory punished by the demons?
Oh.
Okay.
So like the same as they are in hell.
Yeah, well, they're like tormented.
Yeah, are they
like
tormented
that image I showed at the beginning with Lucifer up, okay, as after the judgment day, the divine justice will kindle the fire with which the damned will be punished forever. Even so now, the elect are cleansed after this life by the divine justice alone, and neither by the ministry of the demons whom they have vanquished, nor by the ministry of the angels who would not inflict such tortures on their fellow citizens. It is, however, possible that they take them to the place of punishment. Also, that even the demons who rejoice in the punishment of man accompany them and stand by while they are being cleansed, both that they may be sated with their pains, and that when these leave their bodies, they may find something of their own in them. Okay, so so it sounds to me like Thomas is saying that if we get sent to purgatory and we're suffering there, demons could go and basically like watch us and like torment us. That's what I take from it.
So like they're not necessarily directly causing our suffering, but they're just gloating in our suffering.
Yeah, exactly.
Ew, fun.
Yeah.
Right, but at the same time we're being cleansed, so that whatever they're doing is not really significant, because they can't. I mean, when you're in purgatory, you can't go to hell. You can only go to heaven eventually. So I mean, they can watch you or whatever, but it's like they're not gonna be able to do much. Like, they can't take you to the other place.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Diane.
The voice from above.
Just a quick one. Jesus Christ died for our sins so that we may achieve salvation.
Yeah.
So why is purgatory still necessary if Jesus died on the cross for our sins and saved us?
Because we have to be perfect to get into heaven. Mm-hmm. And so,
but no human is perfect, and we all have flaws.
Yeah, but he died for our sins, but that doesn't mean that we don't cooperate in our own salvation. And part of the cooperation here on earth is through our suffering, our salvific suffering, and sometimes we may have to suffer a little bit. And so we're cooperating in basically purifying ourselves to make ourselves worthy. But I think it would be more of a Protestant notion, and I'm not claiming this for you, Diane, but that Jesus just kind of covers us, like Luther said, snow covering a pile of dung, and that Jesus does all the work and we do nothing, and we're just these reprobates that are saved through the work of Christ. I think that'd be more of a Protestant notion.
Yeah, like the Protestant view is that Jesus died on the cross, we're saved, but as Catholics we believe that, yes, of course he died on the cross to save our sins. We agree with that, but we take it a step further, kind of, to say that we have free will, so we can choose the good or the bad. And even though Jesus died for us, we still have the choice to either do good or bad. And if we choose bad, well, we probably won't. We're gonna end up in the other place and not the good place.
Not the good place. Yeah.
And does St. Thomas Aquinas, does he have any number of like how much time does one spend in purgatory before they get to heaven?
Well, that's a good question, because that also brings up the question of time. Because Thomas says, of course, God is eternal. There's really no time with God. We're inside of time in a temporal existence. But then he has this other thing called aveternity, which is something that I probably can't explain. Might be a good topic.
Yeah, maybe
to do.
that's like show.
Aveternity, which is kind of like a different kind of time that in heaven, but it used to be in the old days, and we even have prayer cards that remember the purgatory prayer cards that we have, where offer up this suffering, and you take 25 years off a loved one from purgatory, or 5 years. And it used to be that the church doesn't really speak in that language much anymore. I don't know if in maybe the TLM that's more common. Somebody can tell us if that's more in the traditional.
Yeah, I am TLM, but I'm not sure about that.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah. What I was gonna say was, as far as how long we suffer there, doesn't it kind of depend on the person, like the weight of what that person did on earth? So it would kind of depend on the soul, right?
Yeah. Well, there's actually a question we're going to get to that will be about that. So let me go. Let me go quickly again. Eagerly anticipating.
Eagerly.
Okay. So let's see. Okay. So we talked about the demons kind of tormenting. I think about like one kid getting sent to the corner, and one of the other siblings like going over there, like teasing them in the corner. That's the image I get in my mind. Okay,
that's a slightly more pleasant image than what I think it's actually going to be, by the way.
Now, get this. He says, but in this life, meaning here on earth, while there is yet time for the combat, men are punished both by the wicked angels as foes, as instanced in Job, and by the good angels, as instanced in Jacob, the sinew of whose thigh shrank at the angel's touch. Moreover, Dionysius says explicitly that the good angels sometimes inflict punishment. And I think that would be like my example of a parent punishing their child because they love them. Yeah. They punish them, or they inflict them, or, I don't know.
Yep.
But, anyways. Okay, real quickly, whether venial sin is expiated by the pain of purgatory as regards the guilt, yes. So what does purgatory do? It's expiating venial sin, and it's also delivering from the debt of punishment. Okay, so those two real quickly. And then finally, whether one person is delivered from the punishment sooner than another, which I think is what you were talking about there a second ago. A very short answer here. Some venial sins cling more persistently than others, according as the affections are more inclined to them and more firmly fixed in them. So if like one person is like, I cannot stop thinking about cheese fries at Snuffers. Not that that's me or anything, okay? But I'm like,
heard so much about these cheese fries.
I'm so inordinately, and I don't think I'm inordinately attached. I only get them like twice a year, but okay. But I'm thinking about.
I was going to say, but you talk about them.
And since that which clings more persistently is more slowly cleansed, it follows that some are tormented in purgatory longer than others, for as much as their affections were steeped in venial sins.
So it kind of depends on the level of venial sin.
Yeah. So whether it's 5 years or 20 years or 1,000 years or who knows? Time is interesting.
Yeah,
it is.
It's weird.
It's
sometimes.
very trippy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Also, Adrian said that TLM is not different because indulgences come from the treasury of the church as dispensed by the church, namely the Roman pontiff. And Paul VI got rid of the language of days, years, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. That's
so that just language. Overall, that's everywhere.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can't. I said at the end of this hour, you're going to know more about purgatory than you did an hour ago. I think
I'm a little more confused. That's for sure.
It's like I don't understand this, but it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is.
So it gives you something to think about this weekend.
Great.
As you're
well,
chilling
it's so funny because I converted, and the purgatory is definitely one of the things I had to consider very heavily. But it was one of those things where I was just like, Lord, grant me the grace just to believe and just, just have to accept it and be like, all right, I don't fully understand all of this, but.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think the key, at least, Dave's unsolicited advice, just stay in a state of grace and try to live as virtually as possible and try to, acquire the acquired virtues and try to pray that we have the infused virtues as much as possible and stay in a state of grace and frequent the sacraments. And
That's a good principle.
That's about all you can do, right?
Life advice with Dave Palmer.
That's right. Okay. So
Life and death advice with Dave Palmer.
Yes. All right. We ready to move on to the next phase of our program?
All right, it's that time in the show where Dave gives we give Dave Summa to think about.
One job,
and he gives it right back.
And he always claims he has the best trivia as well.
Okay, I don't know. I claim I have good trivia. I don't know that there's.
I'm sorry. What did you say when you walked in here earlier? You were like, I've got fantastic trivia.
I think there are people out there. We've joked about this that the audience numbers seem to rise when we get into trivia. I think people are texting each other and saying, "Okay, they're finished talking about that Summa stuff. The show's going to be fun now." Okay, go ahead and jump in.
That's going to be a thunderclap.
Okay. Yeah, so
I have a slight fear of thunder. It's all good.
Right. As we typically do, William has one question. Okay, so all right,
this one.
Hit us. Easy, medium, or hard?
It's gonna be, I think, probably pretty easy. Hopefully.
Okay,
if you guys understand the question.
I like easy.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Take it away.
So, who specifically? Now, I'm not like talking about like just like in general, because we all know that that people who haven't been who still need to be cleansed go to purgatory, like venial sin and things like that. So I'm not talking like that general principle, but which persons or person like specifically go to purgatory?
Which persons?
Oh.
Yeah, do we know if there's any person
that just like automatically are going to go to purgatory? Basically,
is there any person or persons?
The imperfect.
Yeah. Well, actually, do you want me to tell you the answer? Because that wasn't the answer I was expecting.
All right.
Okay.
So the answer is we don't know.
Wow. Oh my! I was like, do you know something we don't know?
So that's a question without an answer.
Great.
So it's kind of like I guess the example is, do I know that you're going to purgatory? No, I don't. You could go straight to heaven. That's the kind of question.
Right. So we're not 100% sure who's in purgatory.
Yeah, exactly.
But we know there are some people in purgatory.
Yeah,
we just don't know.
Yeah,
who
exactly.
It is. Yeah. And Dante seemed to he put people in purgatory, didn't he?
I haven't read the Divine Comedy yet. I need to read it still.
I think he did. Okay. All right. Well, that was interesting.
Actually, I have a divine. This is random aside. I've had an illustrated like coloring page or coloring book of the Divine Comedy that my mom got.
Oh, wow.
I was like, pleasant mother.
That doesn't seem like kiddie stuff.
No, it doesn't.
By the way,
it's like an adult
Mary said trick question.
Exactly, Mary.
Yep.
See?
Trick question.
It was a trick question. We were tricked by the intern.
Yes, I know. And I was so earnestly trying to get that one right. And lo and behold,
I didn't even try. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I did not.
You've had a very dejected attitude this whole time.
Really?
How many times you said, like, I'm not even going to say anything, and then you say something.
I'm not
complaining? I'm not even going to say anything. Okay.
I'm a contrary person. I also don't like storms, so I think I'm a little anxious about it.
Yeah.
But,
okay,
all right.
Well, we only got a few more minutes. Okay.
A few more minutes to what, Dave?
I don't know.
All right, so I was thinking, okay, purgatory and trivia. What on earth am I going to do for trivia? Yeah. So I decided, I was like, I'm not going to be a typical Gen Zer and just consult the internet.
Not that book. Okay.
I found a book, Quotes of the Saints. The thing is
in my office you found it.
I did. The unfortunate thing is they only had a few quotes about purgatory in here, so I had to put the book aside and go to the internet, exactly like how I normally do. So basically, I have 5 quotes from different saints about purgatory or on purgatory. And I'm going to give you 5 saint names. Okay. And I have a little list here. I'll be able to like mark who did what. And once for the first quote, you have to choose one of those 5 saints, and that is locked in. You cannot change it again.
Okay.
And so you just have to go all the way through, and at the end, I'll tell you how many got right or wrong.
Okay. So we can write them down.
Yes, you may. And William, if you need any help, let me know, because you don't have any paper in front of you. I could give you a piece of paper. Do you
need paper?
That would be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a paper.
I don't have a pen.
Okay, here's paper. There's a pen right there.
Oh, sweet.
All right. I like how prepared we are.
Yes. Do you like it? Thank you. I do try.
Yeah. Okay. So who are the saints?
So the saints are Saint Augustine of Hippo, if you want it to be formal.
And feel free to write these down at home
as
well. Okay.
Feel free to write them down. Saint Augustine, Saint John Paul II.
Okay.
Saint Paul of the Cross.
Okay.
Saint Faustina.
Okay.
and St. John Vianney, or Vianney, however you say it.
These are some big shots.
I pulled out the big guns today.
Okay, so we...
Did everyone get... So St. Augustine, St. John, JP2, St. Paul of the Cross, St. Faustina, and St. John Vianney.
Okay.
All right. So the first quote is... If, during life, we have been kind to the suffering souls in purgatory, God will see that help be not denied us after death. If during life we have been kind to the suffering souls in purgatory, God will see that help be not denied us after death. Okay. So you have to choose one of these saints and lock it in.
I'm going with Vianney on that one.
All right, Dave's going Vianney.
I'll go with St. Paul of the Cross.
All right. Okay. And the next quote... And I'll see if anyone else is going to... They're a little behind on the delay.
Because they're being swept away by tornadoes.
I think we're the only ones in danger of a tornado right now.
Yeah, I hope we don't lose any audience people, because that...
Audience people from the tornado or us?
No, just for any reason.
Got it. Okay, next quote. Consider then the magnitude of these sufferings which the souls in purgatory endure, and the means which we have of mitigating them, our prayers, our good works, and above all, the holy sacrifice of the Mass. I also wanted these to be very thought-provoking quotes, in this month of November.
Yeah, and you're succeeding in that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to go John Paul II.
I'm going to go with St. Augustine.
That's what I was going to do that. Are you kind of going by like the tone of like, does this sound like something that would be written in the 4th century?
I'm kind of trying to think of it logically, like what does this quote kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, like does this quote kind of match that saint? Yeah, it's kind of like what you said.
Real quick, just for the folks at home, I'm going to copy and paste my list of saints, just so you know, those are the saints. They're in this comment box.
Wow,
So
going the extra mile
I
there,
am.
Sissel.
You know what? I
You're
like to
looking
make
out
sure
for your peeps.
I am looking out for my peeps. I want to make sure everyone's included. I'm even copying and pasting it on the ones where no one's watching.
If a tree falls in a forest and does anybody hear it or something like that?
All
Okay.
right.
All right.
Okay.
Third quote. This is a little bit longer, so bear with me. That there should be some fire even after this life is not incredible, and it can be inquired into and either be discovered or left hidden whether some of the faithful may be saved, some more slowly and some more quickly, in the greater or lesser degree in which they love the good things that perish through a certain purgatorial fire. That was basically just making the case for purgatory, I think.
I'm going to go Augustine on that one.
You're going to go Augustine?
I'm going to say St. Faustina.
Okay.
Wow. So you and I haven't agreed on any of them. What if what if neither of us gets any points?
Yeah, that would
That's
not
gonna
be
quite
something.
amusing, actually.
That'd be something.
All right.
Okay.
The fourth quote. Praying for the souls in purgatory is the highest act of supernatural charity. Praying for the souls in purgatory is the highest act of supernatural charity.
Faustina.
I'm definitely going to say JP too.
Definitely.
He's like,
I think so, yeah.
All right. And the very last one. So who do you all have remaining? Dave, this is pretty much decided for you.
Yeah, right.
But I'll read it anyway. And you'll just say like, oh, darn, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah. I saw my guardian angel who ordered me to follow him. In a moment, I was in a misty place full of fire in which there was a great crowd of suffering souls. They were praying fervently, but to no avail for themselves. Only we can come to their aid. I asked these souls what their greatest suffering was. They answered me in one voice that their greatest torment was longing for God.
Yeah, I think I probably would have changed my mind because that's very, to me, that sounds very Augustine-ish, but I've already used him. So I'm going to go St. Paul of the Cross. I don't have a choice.
Okay. And who
I
you
don't have a choice either because the last one I had down was St. John Vianney.
Okay. So
Augustine seemed to write very first person. Yeah, he was like the first, he wrote the first ever autobiography.
Don't mind me. I'm just tallying over here, so don't mind me for a second. I got to make sure I have this
don't
right.
Mind me. In the meantime, I will be preparing mine, and I'm really excited about mine. Not that they're any better than yours.
Okay, we do have a winner.
Oh, really?
Why did you look at William when you said that?
I just said we do have. You're so suspicious of everything I do. Okay, so just real quick as a recap, one person got 2 right and one person got 1 right.
Oh wow! Okay.
All right, and the person
may the best man win.
A drum roll, please. Thank you. The winner is William. So just for reference, just so you know, the first one was St. Paul of the Cross. The second one was St. John Vianney. Augustine was the one who made the case for purgatory.
Is that number 3?
That was number 3.
Okay.
So that's the one you got right. William got the first one right. It was St. Paul of the Cross. And then the fourth one was JP2. Like, he was very confident that was JP2. And the fifth one was Faustina.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, yeah.
Well, congratulations.
There you go. You're welcome.
Good game.
All right. So very good. Very, very clever idea there. Okay.
Thank you.
So this is going to be kind of fun here. Okay. So I have Bible trivia.
Oh,
okay.
good.
Okay.
But I also have Old Testament and New Testament. And in each of those categories, I have easy, medium, and hard.
Uh-oh.
So what
if we get the easy wrong?
Now listen to the rules. Okay, listen. Okay, because this you got. You're each going to get 5 questions, but you get to tell me. I want New Testament easy, New Testament medium, New Testament hard, or Old Testament easy. There's 6 categories, right? You can have New Testament easy, medium, or hard.
Okay.
Or Old Testament easy, medium, or hard. If you get the easy, you get a point. If you get the medium, you get 2 points. If you get the hard, you get 3 points.
Okay.
You're each going to get 5, but you pick your own. I'm going to go in order.
And we have 5 that could either be New Testament easy, medium, or hard.
So you could end up with 15 points if you went hard on all of them and got them all right.
I want to try one of each. I want to see how this is.
Now the thing is that if you go hard and you get wrong, you get 0. Then the person.
At least it's not negative points.
Okay. And so
right.
William, you pick New Testament, Old Testament, easy, medium, or hard.
I'll go New Testament. Let's go medium with New Testament.
Okay. New Testament, medium. The question is, who baptized Jesus and in what river?
That would be St. John the Baptist, and it was in the Jordan River.
That's medium.
That's
I knew Catholics and
William has 2 points. Okay, Sissel?
That would have been Protestant, toddler level.
Don't be bitter. Okay.
All right, I'm going to go New Testament. I don't know. Do I want to go New or Old Testament? Which one do I feel like I know better? I want to go for a hard just to see how hard they are. I kind of want to just go out straight from the gate.
Which Testament?
That's what I'm trying to decide. I'm going to say, let's go Old Testament because I hate myself.
Okay. You hate yourself?
No, I'm probably. Yeah.
Okay. Old Testament hard. What does the word Israel mean, literally?
Oh, God with us. No. That's Emmanuel. No. Hang on. Let me think about this a second. Hey, I wasn't the
And no lifelines.
Hold on, hang on. I won't look at the comments then. Hopefully no one's... Oh, shoot. Why can't I remember
And you got
this?
15 seconds. I'm playing by CDT rules.
Wait, we never enacted these rules. You didn't say these.
See, Sissel gets very competitive.
Shoot.
Very
Hold on a second. I'm
competitive.
so annoyed because I do know this. I just can't think of it right now. Well, I'm thinking back when that was...
Hey, you decided to go difficult. 5 seconds.
That's not enough time.
Okay, you're not going to get it.
I don't. Okay. I was gonna say I don't remember.
The
what
answer is prevails with God.
Prevails with God. I knew it was something with God. I just couldn't remember what the word was.
Okay.
That's so
After
annoying.
one round, young William.
Yes.
All right, William. What will it be?
I'm so annoyed because that's one that I should know.
Yeah.
Second round here.
Okay, second round. Let's go Old Testament easy.
Old Testament easy. Okay.
Wow.
So he's just gonna pad his lead here. How many books are in the Protestant Old Testament?
Oh,
the Protestant Old
Testament.
Testament.
Oh, that's mean.
Oh, man.
That's mean. Can I steal a question?
No, you know this.
I do. I think so.
And you got 15 seconds.
Starting now?
I think we started like 10 seconds ago.
I love that.
I'm just going to go with 27.
Okay, 39.
39.
You
Yep,
know that.
I did know that one.
Okay.
All
Come
right,
on.
Sissel,
All right.
a chance to escape your bitterness.
I'll do New Testament medium. Wait, is a medium still available?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's plenty.
Okay.
I don't think we'll run out.
Okay.
Okay, New Testament medium.
Yeah.
Name the first 2 apostles to follow Jesus.
Oh. Ooh, that's a good question. I think. Is it really bad that I'm going to the Chosen in my head and trying to remember which ones? Is it Peter and John?
No. Peter and Andrew.
Andrew.
His brother.
His brother is Andrew. Okay, some of them change names and things, and it gets very confusing.
Okay.
Do I get half a point?
You do not.
Come on.
Okay, William.
I'm very embarrassed right now.
She used to be a Protestant. And she's failing in Bible trivia. Okay, after round two, the score is... Okay, William.
Okay, let's see.
With a comfortable lead.
You know what?
Going into round
I'm
three.
going to go New Testament easy.
New Testament easy.
I like how you're just playing it so safe over there.
For now.
I gotta play aggressive. I gotta win.
Yeah, you gotta.
I've got to play aggressive. I gotta go for hard every
We should
time.
make this a game show. Okay, New Testament easy. In what city was Jesus born?
Oh my. Oh. Bethlehem.
All right.
I am
William.
so disgusted and annoyed right now.
Hey, that's why they call it easy. Okay, this is third round, Sissel.
Do I want to be on the board for any points? Period. Basically, that's basically where we're at.
You gotta strategize.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I need to get myself a lead, so I'm gonna say New Testament hard.
Okay, New Testament hard.
I don't know why I'm doing this. I should
Okay.
just get 8 points.
That'd be funny if Sissel got skunked.
It would be quite amusing. Probably because my strategy was terrible. That would be the why.
Who is considered the 13th apostle to replace Judas Iscariot?
Oh,
right. I do know this. Hold on a second. Hang on.
15 seconds.
Oh shoot. Hold on a second.
I know this one.
I know this one too.
Wait, well, of course you know. You have the answer in front of it. Oh my gosh. Hold on a second. I just want to make sure I have his name right.
5 seconds.
Is it Matthias?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I was hesitating. I was hesitating so much. Immediately, Matthias came to my head, and I was like, "No. What if I'm wrong?"
Yes. All right. Sissel has tied the score after one round.
That was
Three
a
rounds.
hard question. Isn't that 5 points?
No, 3. No, I said 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
I thought it was 1, 3, and 5.
Can we roll the
Wait,
tape?
no. Because you said that we could have up to 15 points.
Because there's 5 questions times 3. There's 5 questions if you got them all right.
I did math backwards. My bad. I was going to fight to the death on that one. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So round 4.
This doesn't do anything for my character.
Okay. And there's out of 5 rounds?
5 rounds.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tied up at 3 right now.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna go Old Testament hard.
Okay. Wow. Well, he's rolling the dice here, my friends. Old Testament. Oh, they call it difficult. Who was the only female judge of Israel?
Oh, I think I know this.
Can I steal a question?
Okay.
I think I know this. I have 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Starting 10 seconds ago.
Okay. Ruth.
No.
No.
Wait, can I please steal the question?
Not for points, though.
Deborah.
Deborah.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
That's
it was
such
Deborah.
a waste.
Yeah.
That was such a waste. All right, Sissel with a chance for ultimate redemption with 1 round to go. What's it gonna be? 3-3 is the score.
Okay, I'm gonna go Old Testament medium.
Oh. Old Testament.
I just need to get ahead of you. That's all I need to do.
Okay. In what language was the Old Testament written?
Originally?
In what language was the Old Testament written?
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
That's like, that's not really Bible. That's historical.
You don't know this?
No, hold on. Let me
Seriously?
think about it.
Got 10 seconds.
Well, I get confused because I'm only thinking of the New Testament, so my brain's hurt.
Adrian, are you
Greek.
serious?
Greek.
The Old Testament?
Wait, don't. I'm not.
No, you already guessed.
Wait, I'm not fine. I'm not done yet.
Adrian said Greek. No,
it's
Hebrew.
It's Hebrew. Oh my gosh! Why did I not say?
Adrian, what is going on? Adrian said Greek.
Well,
the Greeks weren't.
In that case, can I get a new question?
Okay. Oh, this is great. We're going into the final round.
And we have thunder. We might die. It's all good.
And we're tied. Well, this is like so much strategy here.
That's what I did. I just wanted it to be a fun game.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. So basically, my choice of what I do is going to be based off of whatever William does.
Of course. Yeah. You've got all the. In fact, okay. Go ahead. So what will it be?
I'm gonna go with New Testament medium.
Oh, so I have to get medium or hard to win. But of course, you could get it wrong.
Medium.
That's true. Let's hope not.
Okay. New Testament medium.
Yes.
And I'm just going in order here. Okay. So don't kill the messenger.
Okay.
What was the profession of Simon Peter before following Jesus?
Fisherman.
Really? That's a medium.
Hey, I'm just going in
severely
order.
disagree with how these are like level.
Okay, now you get to go for. Obviously, you're not going to do easy. So you can either tie or win. If you tie, we can have a bonus round. But if you win, you win.
Overtime.
Oh, I might just go for tying then. I don't know.
It's kind of scary.
It's a little scary. I don't like the thunder. We can no longer see the Four Seasons Hotel, really.
I know. It's
in
kind of greenish
in the
out there.
clouds.
Yeah.
What if we just have a tornado warning before I have to choose? No, I'm just make a decision here. Okay. I will go. Do I want to be? Okay, I'm gonna go New Testament medium.
Okay.
I hope it's another fisherman question.
Okay, New Testament medium. Where did Jesus turn water into wine?
Oh, at the wedding at Cana.
All right,
That's
very Cana.
medium.
Right? Come on, your fisherman question was very easy.
I am actually going to have to end the show, seriously, because of some concerns with family members and weather.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
no worries.
We can,
so we'll just say I won.
Yeah. But
we'll continue next week. Maybe we'll do it again next week.
We will thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next week
Pray for
the
everyone.
next show, okay? God bless you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for Back to the Father. And don't forget, the glory of God is the human person fully alive. If you have comments about the show, email Dave Palmer at grnonline.com.